Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Do you remember when action movies used to be awesome? When they were the best way to get your heart pumping, the adrenaline flowing, and just a fun way to pass time? Remember when they were all about bombastic explosions left and right, intense shootouts, and epic brawls? Do you remember when action movies had the best special effects money could buy? Ah man, those were the good old days. Now good action movies are few and far between, and honestly, let's be honest, they've been replaced. They've been replaced by the shooter video game. The shooter, whether it be first person, third person, or even a game that has optional shooting mechanics. The point is, action video games, shooter video games, action-packed shooter video games have really truly replaced the classic action movie. I really don't know what happened to the movie industry. I really don't know why directors and producers and just movie makers as a whole have just had some sort of fallout with blockbuster action movies. Now, take this as you will. Good, bad, somewhere in between. Either way, it's not a total loss, because shooter video games have really been filling that void that classic big blockbuster action movies used to fill. I mean, shooter video games are really providing what action movies nowadays are lacking, and that's, well, the actual action. Action scenes in supposed action movies, they happen so quickly, and they're only 1-2 minutes long. Yes, I get it, you need to develop your characters, you need to develop your plot, you need to have more quiet moments in your movie to make the big action scenes seem all the bigger. But action scenes in movies have become so short nowadays. We can't even get 5 minutes of continuous action. Not even 5 minutes. You have guns. Let's see you use them. If you don't want the action to be the forefront of your movie, that's fine, but it's been so long since we've gotten a real classic action movie that was all about the dynamic, big, bombastic shootouts and the special effects and those epic set-piece moments. The Call of Duty single-player campaigns provide that action, that big, huge, action-packed war movie sort of feel that I've been missing from movies nowadays. The Call of Duty single-player campaigns, especially the Modern Warfare ones and the original Black Ops, provide that action fix while having just enough story and plot elements and plot twists to keep your interest. But most importantly, the action is gorgeous. How many people are disappointed by Michael Bay's Transformers movies? You go to those movies to see robots punch and shoot each other, and they rarely or barely ever do it in the movies. Sure, we get some explosions here and there, but I want my action fix. I want to see giant robots and soldiers shoot the crap out of each other. I want epic, gargantuan, bombastic, jaw-dropping set-piece moments. Titanfall provides what I did not get from the Michael Bay Transformers movies. Non-stop, adrenaline-pumping, epic sci-fi shootouts and battles and action. Titanfall is just an absolute treat to the eye. Obviously taking inspiration from Transformers, from several anime that focus on mechs, Titanfall just gets sci-fi action right. Hits that sweet spot in terms of sci-fi action. It's a must-own in terms of sci-fi action. Okay, I'll stop gushing about Titanfall now. Okay, while I admit there is a certain formula to the action genre, to an action video game or an action movie. You need a vulnerable protagonist, you need an enticing villain, you need a plot that's simple to follow but not so insultingly simple a child could have wrote it. And while all that's well and good and understandable, and video games and movies both do these things, video games get right what so many action movies are failing at nowadays: continuous, intense, adrenaline-pumping action. Especially when it comes to shooter games, because shooter games absolutely rely on, well, shooting. The game requires you to shoot your weapon. And these shootouts, these intense action scenes and shootouts in shooter video games, they're lengthy and satisfying. And most importantly really, they're replayable. An action scene, a shootout in a video game can be replayed multiple times with different outcomes, different events and effects that happen in those action scenes and shootouts because you are participating. You're the playable character, and you can do things differently. You can use a different weapon, move to a different spot to engage the enemy. You can run out of ammo and be forced to melee the enemies. There are just infinite variables when it comes to shooter games and how you can replay an action scene, restart the shootout. You will move differently, you will fire differently, your enemies will react differently. You can't get that from movies, and in shooter video games, shootouts can last for, 5-10 minutes. And depending on what game you're playing, the action can be non-stop. Just keep going and going with the quick little breathers that last maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute, opposite to action movies nowadays, where the breathers are half an hour long before you see another action scene. Action scenes in action movies nowadays are just too short for my liking. They're just too fast. I'm not just talking about the timing, I mean the movement of the action scenes. You barely have time to register and go, ooh and ah at what's happening, because it's all moving so fast. The only truly, really great action movie we've gotten as of recently was John Wick. John Wick had multiple action scenes, and the action scenes were usually 2 to 5 minutes. And breaks in between action were usually only 10 or 20. The movie, in terms of an action movie, had great pacing. And as awesome as John Wick is, I still maintain the opinion that shooter video games really are replacing the action movie, have replaced the action movie. Because, in terms of what you want out of the action genre, shooter video games just offer you more of what you want. They just offer you more. They let you be in the actual action scenes. They provide endless replayability, and every shootout will play out differently. Shooter video games provide awesome blockbuster visuals, explosions left and right, set pieces and moments that, they can't be done in a movie. Shooter video games are able to create moments that just wouldn't be feasible or would be too expensive in a movie. I mean, look at Titanfall. Can you imagine how many millions upon millions of dollars it would take to create a 2-hour-long, action-packed, special effects-filled movie recreation of Titanfall? That's nearly impossible. To me, personally, I just find shooter video games and the action found in shooter video games to just be so much more entertaining and impressive than action movies nowadays. Hell, even in terms of storytelling and pacing for what so many of these action movies are trying to go, where they're trying to balance the action and the characters and the story, and they're trying to make just a good, classic, great movie overall. While I respect that, trying to be a good movie and not just a good action movie, there are video games that are able to just do this better. Have deep, emotional, effective plots, memorable characters, but at the same time have the lengthy, entertaining, mind-blowing action scenes. Wolfenstein: The New Order, Splinter Cell: Conviction, Watch Dogs, Spec Ops: The Line, now that's a good one, Call of Duty: Black Ops. And in terms of science fiction action, which, while admittedly we have been getting slightly more of in the movies, like Jupiter Ascending, Guardians of the Galaxy, Pacific Rim! Oh yeah. And while those are all great sci-fi movies and great sci-fi action movies, you gotta admit, there's a part of you that is feeling and saying, I wish the action scenes were just a bit longer. I wish I could have seen just a tad more action. Well, video games like Titanfall, Evolve, Destiny, Halo, Mass Effect, Dead Space, The Bureau, XCOM Declassified, Binary Domain, and I could go for hours listing off great sci-fi action games. There are a slew of amazing sci-fi action movies, I admit, but sci-fi, action, video games, they just go together like peanut butter and jelly. Especially when it comes to shooters. I'm just saying, personal opinion, I believe the video game shooter video games have replaced the action movie in my eyes. This has been the Gamertron. This has been the Gamertron Show. If you liked the video in any way, shape, or form, please hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps me, helps you, helps everybody involved with the video. If you hit that like button, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I love getting comments. I don't get nearly enough comments. Tell me in the comment section, what is your favorite classic action movie, and let me know what your favorite shooter video game is that best embodies what action movies are lacking today. Let me hear your opinion and your thoughts in the comments below. Please leave a comment. And finally, if you're new to my channel, if this is the first video of mine you've stumbled across, I'm the Gamertron. I love talking about video games, and I love playing video games. And if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing and supporting my channel. Anyways, this has been a video, and I will see you guys later.